So JJ, you see any good movies lately?
I saw one the other night in the movie theater. It was real nice, actually.
Yeah, I think I was there with you.
Yeah, it was. I felt swooned. I'll say that.
It was a classy presentation
It was
there.
a classy affair all around.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to go see a screening of Death of a Unicorn. Yeah, the new monster horror film by writer-director Alex Scharfman.
First time.
And
knocked it out of the park.
Not to spoil anything, but later on you're going to hear a interview we got to do with Alex.
Okay, it's going to be smooth, gentle, dark. Stars are out. Love in the eyes.
A little Aurora Borealis even.
Ooh.
Yeah, some nice mystical lights in the sky, which maybe even comes into play in this movie. You don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Who
I mean,
knows?
I feel like a lot of people have heard about it because it's got a big stacked cast.
Yeah, amazing cast. You have Paul Rudd, which is, obviously an easy name to throw in there and easy sell.
Mm-hmm.
Jenna Ortega plays his daughter.
Great actress as well.
Plays the character Ridley, who is kind of like the heart of the group of people that are dealing with what's going on with this unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have you got Richard E. Grant as the patriarch of this wealthy pharmaceutical
It's a strong
rich
name.
family. Richard E. Grant. Oh my God, fantastic job too. I remember him from Loki, the series. You remember?
Who was he in Loki?
He was old Loki. Remember?
He was
Yeah.
old Loki?
He was like blah.
Wow.
Glorious purpose.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he
He's so
did like the whole
transformative.
thing, and he fought the big cloud monster or whatever was coming at him, so that real Loki could leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him. He was in Saltburn. Did you watch Saltburn?
I did watch Saltburn.
Yeah, he was the patriarch in Saltburn. Anyway,
The
also
patriarch? What is a patriarch?
the father. I don't know.
Oh.
The patriarch. I don't know. It's like a really really fancy father.
No, okay. Continue.
Hey man, I read the words and I regurgitate. That's what happens when you read books
I don't know.
or
I read books.
or
Doesn't-
movie
you know,
premises or
doesn't
press
mean it-
notes.
retained it. That's all.
They use big words. I'm trying to use big words.
Yeah, well, I get it.
The big daddy,
The big honcho
the big old
dad.
papa, and Taya Leone plays his wife.
Yeah.
Their son, played by Will Poulter, and then you have a couple scientists in there. You have a butler. The butler is played by
It was a servant
servant. Yeah,
of all
servant.
variety.
Yeah, he'd get a little bit of everything. That's Anthony Carrigan, who was Barry. Yeah, NoHo Hank.
Yeah.
There's NoHo Hank, and he
Kills it
brings
as well.
Brings it again.
Yeah.
And a lot of other great actors popping up here and here.
Great chemistry on screen between
Yeah.
everyone.
It was like what I got from it was a very like everybody was having fun, and like in most cases a lot of the actors are in the same scenes, so there's big rooms, a lot happening, so it definitely was probably a fun dance. That's right, a dance.
It always is.
Yeah, a
It
little
always
trot.
is.
Get it?
The only
Like
time you feel alive is when you're shaking Death's hand.
Yeah.
That's the dance.
And, Death of a Unicorn, there's unicorn.
Yeah.
There's
Son of a bitch.
At least one unicorn. So, you got to go see it and stuff. Like, Jenna Ortega does a really good job of, like, and she joined this cast before, she signed on to this before she started in Wednesday. So she had been in the movie X, the
Gonna
horror
give it to
movie,
ya.
and that too, and then she signed on to this. So this, I don't really know the film time of this, but it does feel like a slightly younger Jenna Ortega than like I don't know.
Oh, I see
older,
what you're saying. You're
So
saying
maybe
this was
Wednesday like flipped around quicker or something like that. I
Gotcha.
don't really know, but
When
her
was this
character
filmed?
is definitely the heart of everything, and she does a really what?
What?
When was this filmed?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't
Oh.
there.
Well, me either.
Maybe we should have asked him that. We
Would have
clearly
been a
did
good
not
question.
ask him that question.
Dang. It's all right. It's a growing experience. We're all growing as humans into a better society.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. People in this movie didn't.
Well, I think that was the point, though.
Yeah, no. It was a definite commentary on the ruthlessness and the inherent
Evil.
evil of within
The
the
pharmaceutical
coal industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was and it's in the trailer. You're not getting anything away to say, something may or may not happen to a unicorn.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's even in the title.
Uh-huh.
And the unicorn has restorative properties, healing properties.
Mm-hmm.
And, heals a variety of things. So this pharmaceutical family and their lawyer, Paul Rudd, are all very excited about the prospect of what they have and the fact that they're going to make a lot of money off of it.
Yeah.
But watch out.
Uh-oh.
Because it might not be dead.
Oh.
And it might be angry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like some hijinks can occur.
I think hijinks may occur.
Yeah.
I think they might. And that's very exciting to me.
No, I think, like you said, everyone did a wonderful job. I think the practical effects are really, this is a creature feature, and it shows really well when you've got the time and the energy and the vision, what you can really do with it.
Exactly. And here's the thing. What's the last movie about unicorns that you saw? Like, the first thing I think everybody's mind, the first association is Harry Potter. And it was in one scene in Harry Potter where the unicorn was killed and Voldemort
Well, there's the last
was
unicorn.
drinking it. The last unicorn, yeah.
Legend.
That's legend. So
Care Bears.
we've
the
got
movie
three.
Not the
I'm not
first one.
counting that one.
All right, that's fine.
Let's not get too far away from talking about our experience
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
this thing.
There's
We got to go to a screening.
big screen.
You got there. You know what they did for us?
Go on, tell the
They
ladies.
gave us a free beverage of choice,
Yeah.
free popcorn,
Mm-hmm.
and
They wined and dined us.
and a little booze. They
Yeah,
were
they
like, you can
did.
pick a booze. I wanted a Modelo.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
They were they only had warm Modelo. They offered me a cup of ice. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pass on that.
Didn't offer me that
I will
cup of ice.
take. I will not take the 20-ounce Modelo. I'll take the 12-ounce Samuel Adams Boston Lager instead.
That's good.
It was a tasty treat.
I bet it was.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
They also gave us a bumper sticker.
The bumper sticker was great.
Bumper sticker says, I tell, great marketing. I break for unicorns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I had a car, I'd slap that sumbitch on it. But
Yeah. Well, now we gotta get
I don't
a car
even know. Yeah,
Now
I
we
think
gotta
I
get a
got to
car
get a
to
new.
for all our bumper
Gonna
stickers.
put it. Yeah, I could get a car.
I ate the popcorn like
cards.
I was a horse.
You did. You
It's
did.
as if I was part of the movie.
Yeah, but that was unintentional.
No,
That's
that's
just
just
you.
how I eat popcorn.
Yeah, I do tend to eat popcorn. I go in a little hot with the popcorn.
Yeah, you get in
Just
strong
start
first.
stuffing it down.
When do you
and
slow
it's
down?
like,
Mid bag,
I don't know.
3/4 in?
Halfway through the
Halfway you
trailers.
throw it down. Yeah.
Halfway through the trailers, when I'm halfway done with the popcorn.
Yep.
Starts getting
That's
cold.
why I eat it like a
The
trowel.
oils haven't whatever the oil juice is, the butter juice that hasn't permeated the top
just
third of the
coagulating in our
popcorn.
veins.
Yeah.
Well,
You always
you-
forget to grab napkins.
I'm telling you, man, you eat it like a trowel. It slows you down. You can only
just
get
go in?
so many with your mouth.
Oh yeah, I like doing that.
Get it with your
'cause
tongue.
Yeah,
You get like 3 or 4, then you move on. 3 or 4.
get it.
Move on.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good. You're like, wow, look at what I've accomplished. I've taught my tongue how to attach to a piece of food. You
Yeah.
know?
Like a gecko.
Yeah.
Or
Like, wow, I
like
picked
a
up a new
frog.
skill. Is
Do
that
geckos do
boosting
that?
my resume? No. But it's a human skill. It's a skill that I can go around and tell my grandchildren, be like, hey, look what your papa used to do.
Yeah.
All right? And you wonder why I never made it
Now-
anywhere?
Now eat your magic McDonald's bar that
Yeah,
you throw in a microwave, hit a button, and
Eat
it
your
poof,
vitamin ball.
Yeah, your vitamin ball. Eat your roach bar.
Yeah.
We're at
Get that
Snowpiercer.
protein.
Pro moves.
You ever have grasshopper tacos? They're delicious.
No.
Oh,
I
well, you're
would
missing
eat them,
out.
though. I would eat it. I was just watching a video where Jack Black and and Jason Momoa are in Mexico for the Minecraft movie,
Sure.
and they're just eating bugs. Eating lots of bugs.
We ate them as a kid.
I was like, hey, if he could do it, I probably can't, but, I'll try. I'll try.
Is that the lager?
That's water.
Oh,
That's delicious
thought it
water.
was still the lager.
Spring water from fall. Yikes. Come on, the illusion. The illusion.
I wasn't thirsty then. I'm thirsty now.
Wow, you haven't done anything.
That's not true.
Yeah, no,
I've distracted you for 15 minutes.
You have. You've successfully done that. Anyway, Alex Scharfman, director and writer of Death of a Unicorn,
Mm-hmm.
was nice enough to
Gracious
sit
enough.
down with us remotely
Mm-hmm.
and talk to us for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And we did our best to
We-
not sound like buffoons.
Dare I say we geeked
And,
about it
We geeked about it. We did. We were able to geek about it. It was
with another geek
yeah.
of the film.
We had a geek about. We had a
Yeah.
geek around.
A geek
a
for, a
geek
geek
table.
back. It was great.
Geek soup, potato geek soup. But he gave us a lot of insight into choices, experiences he had, and a lot of the inspirations.
Yeah. Very
from
interesting stuff.
the unicorn tapestries at the Met Cloisters,
Mm-hmm.
and just a little bit of everything.
Well, we'll let him say it better than us.
Oh,
I think that's
more eloquently.
yeah,
I mean,
more
he's the
better
writer
words.
here.
more charming.
Yeah. Well, by default.
Yeah.
By default.
Much.
Zero charm. We've
Us.
failed our charm
He
check.
was pointing to us when he said zero charm.
Yeah. We know. There's cameras.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what we're
I'm
doing.
in charge of them.
Well, that's concerning.
So anyway, past this point, there will be spoilers. So if you have
Yeah.
not seen Death of a Unicorn yet, then you probably want to hit pause and then bookmark where you are. Write it down somewhere in a notebook
Put it in your
and put it in a safe.
your
Lock it
diary.
away.
Yep.
Put it out to sea.
Put it with your crypto
And then
password.
you'll find it later. Yeah, keep it with your crypto password.
Keep it with your 27-digit crypto password.
Yeah, keep it there. And then after you do see the movie, hopefully soon, then bring it back out and we'll and geek around with us.
And we'll be here and we'll be able to guide that airplane right to landing.
Absolutely. Well, anyway, without further ado, trotting right in,
Woo.
here is our Death of a Unicorn interview with Alex Scharfman. Geek away! How's your stress versus excitement level?
I don't know. It's a real weird. I've been working on this movie so long, so it's a very odd thing that now I'm like not working on it and people are just reacting to it.
Yeah.
So it's all very surreal at the moment. But I think the stress level is waning in that I can't do anything about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's done. It is whatever it is. And no, thankfully we had a great screening event last night, and so that was very fun, and it was fun to get to see people react to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was beautiful. We went and got to see it last night, the screening, and it was fun. It was funny because like as soon as the trailer came out, I remember like I literally shared it with him, and I was like, "This is we're gonna do an episode about this, so this is pretty cool that we actually get to talk to you and stuff."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I mean, beautiful movie, bright. I mean, unicorns. You don't.
Definitely unicorns.
I can't even think of the last movie that had a unicorn in it that was prominent, a part of a character in it. So
The last
I think it's in one of the Harry Potter movies, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like that's more of like a secondary. It's like you have to go back to
Yeah.
like Legend, I think.
Yeah,
or the
Tom Cruise.
Unicorn, which
Yeah,
are great
exactly.
movies, but yeah,
But different vibe for the unicorn as well, those two, compared to...
different vibe for those. Yeah, but Legend has a decent amount of like pulling from like unicorn lore, vibe, like in a fantastical setting, obviously. And the
Mm-hmm.
whole fun of this was like, well, what if we just dropped a unicorn into our world, basically? Yeah, yeah. And Last Unicorn is like a true, I mean, both those movies are true, like fantasy settings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's a wizard in The Last Unicorn, obviously.
Yeah,
The unicorn turns into a girl, so yeah,
slightly different.
Slightly different.
slightly different, slightly different. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the unicorns, I really dug the design. And I was reading how you and the design team kind of drew from, like, you wanted them to be like referencing almost ancient gods, and how they had different animal pieces that kind of brought to, and like dislocating the spine. And I thought that really worked so well to make them menacing and ethereal at the same time.
Yeah, it was a big thing with like the design of like never wanting them to just be like horses with horns on their
Yeah.
heads, like which is not what they were for most of history. It's only the past 50, 75 years or so that we've gotten this like Lisa Frankified white unicorn running through a field,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you go back further, it was like a very different thing. It used to be more goat-like. It used to just be like primarily defined by, I mean, two things. One is that like it had curative properties, and then the other was that it was totally untamable. It was always a symbol of nature and the thing that we as humans could not attain and would destroy, much to our shame, because we are inherently corrupt. And this is a pure being that is not corrupt. So there's something about that kind of gets at this sort of, I don't know, like polytheistic, like old ancient gods, Princess Mononoke, dear God kind of vibe in the
Yeah.
woods, the unknown in nature. And so yeah, we tried to draw upon that and pull a lot of historical references in terms of like what the creatures looked like, and then pull bits from real animals, and then sort of try and come up with a treatment that made it feel like they were actual animals and not these like fantastical creatures, in the sense that like we looked a lot at like prehistoric animals like from the ice age and so
Yeah.
forth, and kind of extrapolate like if you look at like a woolly rhino compared to a rhino, or a mastodon compared to an elephant, you're like, well, what about if a horse, what if you went backward like that in the same way? And you kind of get led down some really fun research rabbit holes, and try and pick good bits from a lot of different sources and come up with a unifying way to tie it all together.
Didn't even consider the Princess Mononoke vibes, and as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah, no, Princess Mononoke, great movie about nature and man's need to commodify it, and the industrialization of nature, and yeah, I mean it's great. Yeah, love
Yeah.
that movie. Not a traditional creature feature, but a feature with a creature.
Which is like we love creature features. I mean, I love creature features. I know you do too. So it was
So that would
exactly
be
what I
we.
just
You
said.
got it
We-
right the first time.
But it's like what one of the ones we just talked about that we love, like Troll Hunter, and like like Krampus over. Like I felt like the film too had kind of like that bright, surrealist, like in your face thing as the Krampus movie had. It kind of like the same because so other ones will be dark and kind of mysterious, and this was like surreal, out of the in your face. You're seeing a lot of you're presented with a well lit creature, and in certain situations, obviously you're in the dark and everything. But but what I loved about this was almost every other creature feature, a horror creature feature, you're rooting for the people.
Yeah,
And in this one, from the get go, you're like, no, the unicorns.
Yeah, I'm on unicorn.
We're on the unicorn side. Like the people are terrible.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The monsters are the people. Yeah, no, totally. Like that was sort of like a North Star from the very beginning conception of like, yeah. When I always thought it was interesting. I'll be honest, I thought people were gonna cheer for, or not cheer for, but like be more aligned with the survival for longer. But it was fascinating in getting like script reads. I was like, oh wow, no, people pretty much are immediately like the unicorns are the good guys here. Which I think is fascinating too, because I think it's partially because they're unicorns.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like if it was like some kind of other monster, I wonder if it would take a little longer to like get on their side. But we all have all these associations and emotional connections to unicorns just from 2,500 years almost of storytelling since unicorns were first recorded or written account. So yeah, I think we come into it with this like whoa, like, and also they're victims at the very the first unicorn gets killed
Yeah.
pretty much as like doing nothing wrong, just crossing the street.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, as soon as the first person killed, our theater had cheers. So it was from the get-go. They were like, let's go for it.
Which that initial, I had to let it marinate a little bit, but then I was like, oh my God, that first scene is it's like the alien chest burster scene. It's horn through the back, and then what's going on, and then through and through, and then you have, and now we're playing, now we're playing ball, and just from there, and that was probably what one of the characters you're like, okay, you would have liked to see this person live. But
there's a certain ruthlessness of he slits the foal's throat at some point, and it's sort of like, that's his death sentence. He shouldn't have done that.
That was
I know it definitely is. Now we're playing ball is right. It's I don't know. It's my favorite creature movies, like the monster doesn't show up till halfway through. Generally, is like a rule, and I think that's always such a good because it's like it's like a roller coaster. You just like click, 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 and then you get there, and you're like, now you have everything you need. Yeah. The movie can just go the rest of the way. So I don't know. That's always how I like the pacing structure of creature movies. My favorite ones. There's obviously exceptions like The Host, where it's like you're seeing that monster 10 minutes into the movie, and you're like, what the fuck?
Another great movie
for it. That monster in the bright day and first act, very shocking. Yeah. But by and large, that is how I don't know. I felt like the right structure for this movie.
And my God, the cast, you've one of. I couldn't even stop, okay, I love this person, I love this person, I love this person. You have, Will Poulter, too, just nailed that character so well. Even to the point where there's, the oxygen tank part, and it's like he's choosing not to fire that and, letting it, he could have, he was like, no, I'm still going to come out of this on top, having that ego of we're gonna get that far.
Yeah, Will's a wonderful performer and so funny, and I love what he did with the character because it's it's a heightened character. Obviously, I think all the characters the heightened the theatricality to. But at the same time, he found a kind of emotionally grounded way to do that in a weird way, where it's kind of built in this character's insecurities and wanting to prove himself to his parents and, knowing he's a disappointment and inadequate, but also wanting to not be. With that moment with the oxygen tank, it certainly, I love how he ended up playing the torment on his face and just the full range of emotions of somehow letting his mother suffer is in order to preserve his father's legacy in his mind, to do something that would prove his worth to them. There's I don't know. Will's great. In terms of the whole cast, I feel like I just got lucky they all want to do it.
You could sit here and just talk about Paul Rudd for hours, but that's just he's a rock. And then everything else is kind of like the embellishments on it, Richard E. Grant is phenomenal in everything. And it took me forever to remember that, he was also the patriarch in Saltburn. And it was kind of he's got that. Oh, yeah. He just steps into that role and he knocks it out of the park.
No, totally. I'm a big Withnell and I fan, and so is Paul and Jenna. Actually, we're all. Well, I haven't talked to Will about Withnell, but we're all huge fans. So we were all I don't know. Paul and Richard were friends going into the shoot, and so we were all very excited. But I don't know. To me, Richard is like a I don't know, verbal gymnast. Just kind of let him go and watch him do tumble salts, with his mouth saying dialogue in a way that just he just has that kind of gas him up kind of vibe. You just want to let him run.
Yeah.
He's
especially
a linguistic champ. That
linguistic, guy. A gymnast, and especially the steak scene. That was just to do that, and it never even is addressed. It's just the look on people's eyes. Anthony Carrigan, who another person that's just a joy to have on screen at any time, and his obvious detestment of every single person in there, and the family and how they're bullying him around. But also just assuming that everybody around them is their toy to play with, and they control everything.
Anthony's so great. I do like that moment too when he's he's kind of put upon and exhausted by this family for most of the movie.
Yeah.
But that one scene with the steak eating, you can tell he's like, he did something really great. He's just like so upset. He's ashamed
Yeah.
of himself for his simplicity in the moment, you know? Kind of can't look at anybody. No, I do love what he did in the movie. And what a gift of a performance from him of just like, you know, understanding the assignment of being like a character who doesn't have that much to say, which to a lot of actors is like, you know, not appealing, obviously, but he totally understood like what that character was going through and why they wouldn't be talking in a lot of these circumstances, and yet they're always there and they're always reacting, and they're kind of the only one, you know, with Jenna's character
Yeah.
having him and Jenna's character the only ones that kind of have a conscience, and so he kind of understood and latched into that in a really delicious way that I think elevates the movie so much. I'm so lucky Anthony ended up choosing to play the role. Just because I think he takes something that I think a lot of people, and I was always, to me, I was like, this role is great, it's juicy, he's there all the time, he's reacting to stuff. But I know to a lot of people, you read that on the page and you're like, what are you talking about? The guy says like 15 lines the whole movie. It's like, doesn't matter. He's there. He's in it. He's like way deep in the mix, you know?
And even that moment where he speaks up, where he's like pouring the wine or something, and he speaks up and then stops himself because he's like, oh no, I'm not allowed to do this, you know? And
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody kind of looks at him like, what did you just speak?
Exactly. You know, I mean, you know, it's an interesting character who's always, you know, the movie is a lot about complicity and moral relativism and like, do the ends justify the means? And I think for him, he's always been like, you know, my employment's really important. I'm sure he gets paid well as a character. You know, that character gets paid well and has a great livelihood, relatively speaking. Um, and at a certain point, his survival overtakes that.
Yeah.
You know, his need for employment and his need to survive, or like, you know, and at that moment, he's like, well, I'm okay. I'm not in physical danger. I'll just pipe down with my you know, moral objections.
It was fun to see how long you could stretch Paul Rudd as well. His character, before he turned back and understood that he'd gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
That like this wasn't like even at a point where like they maybe could have survived, he still could have made a little bit of money out of it. But like he realized now he's put his daughter in danger, and now he's like, okay, no, like I need to, I'm gonna fix this now. You go. And that touching moment did get me. I mean, I'm known to cry during to movies. Sometimes even just when there's an explosion or somebody, you know, driving a motorcycle off a cliff. But in the sad moments, they get me too, and that definitely got me.
Yeah, I'm a baby. But I like a movie that like combines. You know, I don't know. My hope was the movie would be unexpectedly emotional. Like you don't think that's where it's gonna go, and it kind of goes there anyhow. But yeah, with Paul, you know, it was an interesting. Paul has such an inherent likability. That's just like innate to his being as an actor and a human. He's just like a very sweet, charismatic, generous, considerate person. And I don't know, I thought it was really interesting to kind of posit a version of him, a hypothetical of like, well, what if Paul didn't lead such a charmed life and like, you know, got screwed by the universe one time real bad, you know, and kind of put up walls around that and kind of built up these kind of defense mechanisms that maybe made him, you know, do unlikable things primarily. And kind of, I thought it was a very interesting journey to, you know, I like the idea of a movie that's sort of like a machine to make a character make one decision, you know, and kind of building him towards that decision by the end of like, we understand where he is at the outset. And hopefully over the course of the movie, you understand how he got to that place and kind of the value structure by which he's making these decisions and sort of saying, well, if I provide for my daughter, if I build a safe, build a financial security net that such that anything that comes our way, we're going to be okay. You know, bad things have hit us before, but now if I make enough money, nothing bad will be as protected as we can be from such a bad thing, such a unfortunate stroke of luck. And then over the course of the movie, realizing like maybe that's not the best way to live my life, to say that I could do whatever I need to as long as I'm doing it toward this ultimate good of protecting my daughter and making sure our lives are as protected as it can be through wealth. Realizing like maybe that's not the best way to live one's life.
And I think it's a very relatable viewpoint where it's like, if I just have enough money, things will be easier, things will be better. everything will be better.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the arc is for him is about realizing that maybe, it's easy to also like dress that up it's like easier to like honor wash, our own greed and be like, oh no, I'm doing this for my daughter. I'm doing this for a really noble reason. And then I think by the end of the movie, he kind of comes to terms with like, she doesn't seem to want this shit.
Yeah.
She seems to just want me to be around and as a decent person. And so maybe I just like material objects, of wealth. And that realization of like maybe this was actually for me, and I've been lying to myself for a little bit of time, for too long, perhaps. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that is my hope is that's relatable. My hope is that it sort of unifies the emotional center of the movie of Ridley and Elliot, Paul and Jenna's characters, or Jenna and Paul's characters rather. And it aligns their kind of center arc with the class satire that's there is like this kind of question of like how do you provide for your loved ones, in today's world, and also like the things we do for our loved ones and the things that we tell ourselves we're doing for them and maybe we're actually secretly doing for ourselves.
Beautiful.
I don't know. I hope so. That was an idea.
I mean, that's what I took from it.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
at least it worked on me.
Yeah, exactly.
I can promise you that.
Easy target though.
Well, that's also true.
Yikes.
Well, so I was reading that you were kind of inspired by the tapestry up at the cloisters with the unicorn aspect. At what point did you kind of add the oligarchy satire aspect of it? Like when did those two ideas meet in your head, and why or how?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I kind of always try to let the story dictate where it goes, like as much in an organic way. Like I try not to think about writing as like making shit up as much as like discovering what this story is in its nature. So yeah, I mean, when I first had the thought, it was just about like, oh, a father and daughter hit a unicorn with their car, and then I was like, well, what's a unicorn? And then you start researching unicorn mythology, and almost immediately you come upon, the realization that unicorns have been prized throughout mankind's history. Most of our, unicorns have been around for almost 2,500 years. For that entire time, they've been believed to have curative properties. And so when you think about that in a contemporary context, you're like, okay, medicine, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, it's hard not to get to that. Like it's kind of immediately there. And then when I started researching unicorn stories more, I really got attracted to medieval unicorn mythology specifically, which is where it kind of unicorns took on this metaphorical status as like an embodiment of Christ and a sort of allegorical quality of like man's innate corruption and our destruction of the natural world, of things too pure for our own kind of comprehension. And it's like a great shame upon humanity of like our destruction of it. And then when you discover the unicorn tapestries, those are about a lord, a nobleman and his court. He sends out his hunters into the woods to get him a unicorn, and then they bring it back to him. So when you start stacking all these things up, like, I don't know, that seems like the unicorn story is naturally about a critique of human nature. The tapestries themselves are naturally a class commentary, about a lord trying to go out, commodify nature, bring it back to me. I want to own this thing. I want to hang it on my wall, and then I want to put it in a pen so I can control it, and it's mine forever. And so when you start to think about that sort of stuff, like I don't think I consciously was like, well, this is a satire now.
Right.
It's like it presents itself in a way that hopefully feels organic to the movie and not like me contriving to be like, all right, how am I going to come up with something to take down these rich fucks, like it kind of naturally sort of presents itself within that context. And then, you start thinking about like, okay, well, if this is a contemporary adaptation of a medieval unicorn story, unicorn hunt narrative, what does that mean? What is the equivalent of a medieval lord from the Middle Ages? And you start thinking about like, well, we kind of have them today with oligarchs. Like, they have fiefdoms of industry. It's not a geographic, like, here's my kingdom and I own, I tax the farmers on these lands, as much as like, well, I own this huge industry and I'm a billionaire,
Yeah.
And so that sort of, was the natural offshoot of that. And so when you start thinking about, again, like the panacea of it all, unicorn curative properties, it's like, well, we're talking about pharmaceuticals, we're talking about class in that context. And sort of, I don't know, like I said, I try not to like steer anything as much as like just explore and see what it naturally wants to be.
Yeah, I loved because it made sense, that it all fits. Every decision that the family made, Leopold, everybody, the Leopolds. But my favorite part was the Devil's List. It's like as soon as they know they can't reproduce it so far, then they're like, okay, let's get our rich friends to pay everybody
the Davos guest list. Yeah, exactly. The idea of like, okay, it's and that's where it's like this kind of socioeconomic capitalist commentary of like, and which also relates to the pharmaceutical industry in the sense of like scarcity and creating a false sense of scarcity or a real sense of scarcity, but that natural order of like, okay, if there's so many people who if there's a limited supply, that means we could charge exorbitant prices.
Yeah. And even Shep going and snorting it eventually was, and it's just that's it. I guess that's what you do.
Hey man,
it's a powder. Let's see what happens.
Makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The final scene where the unicorns are, they come up to Ridley and they lay down like that. Just that end part was so beautiful, and you have kind of this moment of okay, these are these dangerous creatures, but she is the fair maid and she is, gonna hang, and then everything that happens. But especially that last scene where the horns cross, they put everything together. Like it was, you get the magic out of it,
Yeah.
Like the more than just the, terror and destruction and the healative properties. Then you throw a little bit of the magic in there. Even the when you saw kind of like the aurora borealis that started extending and everything with that was a lot of beautiful visuals.
Yeah, it was a funny thing of like wanting to subvert expectations of what a unicorn is, but then by the end of the movie, give it to you anyhow. Of being like, because I do think there's a certain limited mileage of being like, oh no, but this is like, you've never seen a unicorn kill somebody, like, great, do that. But then also, you don't want it to just be that. You want to satisfy the hopes that we all come into a unicorn movie with of like, there is magic. Like there is the purple sparkles, there is the little bit like, you kind of want to withhold that and then be like, okay, here it is. Now we're going to get the galloping white unicorns, but not the way you expect we're going to get there,
Exactly, that color change at the end with them, where it's going from
I really
the dark
like that,
charcoal. Yeah. And you were saying, he was like, I don't know if we've ever seen Paul Rudd die on film.
Yeah, I was just thinking as I walked out, I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen that man die. Not to.
I don't think so either. Paul and I discussed that. I
don't
think he died on screen before.
Yeah.
And he couldn't keep him down either.
No, he's a tough nut to crack, that guy. Well, I wanted to ask you, as a man who just made a film about a unicorn, do you believe in any high strangeness activities yourself?
High strangeness activities.
UFOs, aliens, ghosts, anything.
Oh
Bigfoot.
yeah, I believe. I certainly believe in aliens. In UFOs. Like I think aliens get around somehow. I don't know if they've been to Earth. I do, I think it is interesting all the declassification of UFO files, Project Blue Book and the like, in the past few years. I think that's fascinating. And essentially the government being like, we can explain a lot of weird shit that we've seen in the sky. Like, and I do, when you start hearing that from like high ranking government officials whose job is to understand aircrafts in the sky, and they're like, no, we can't actually. I don't know. I lack a better explanation than a UFO, which maybe is a facile, like, well, whatever. It's by nature unidentified. It's unknown. But no, I 100%. I mean, man, I really hope aliens exist, because if they don't, like, what a fucking waste of space.
Yeah.
If us idiots are the only intelligent life in the universe, like, what a fucking waste. Like, just to say, like, not us specifically, but like as a species, like, come on.
Oh, absolutely.
We're real dummies.
I mean, I throw myself into that category too.
I know, but, we're all, we're just hairless apes. It's fine.
Yeah.
Some of us have a little bit more hair than
that is
others,
true.
And well cultivated. But amazing. Once again, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, really. Congrats.
And appreciate the movie and taking the time to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look forward to to watching it again to pick up on some of the little things that, because I was kind of I feel like I read a couple things that were there that I didn't see, so I'm looking forward to checking it out again.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the marketing. That was the other thing that was beautiful. The shoot over the unicorn for the poster is like, and you're hiding the creature from it. And everything. We got the little bumper sticker when we signed in that said, "I break for unicorns." I'm like, that's that's worth the price of admission.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I got one of those too. Like I like how those came out. It's it's been the marketing team's been great with it. I mean, I don't know. I was also like when I first started working with A24, I'm like, guys, if you can't market a unicorn horror movie with all this cast, like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, I say that as someone who does not know marketing, but I was like, what I do know is there's some fun elements in this one.
Well, I'll just say, don't listen to the naysayers.
Oh.
Yeah, the nay. Like I had to throw a pun in there somewhere as.
Oh God, I was like,
the naysayers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now I get it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Alex.
thank you for your time. We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
And we're back.
Back to Geek a little more before we go.
On the doso, just the two of us now.
Yeah, he left us.
Yeah,
he left us. He left us. No, I very, very much appreciate Alex sitting down with us talking.
Absolutely.
That was really wonderful. It was great to talk to somebody.
A lot of fun.
Doing stuff. Death of a Unicorn was a lot of fun for us to go see. It was a great experience.
It's a fun movie.
This is unicorns. There are several unicorns. I mean, by this time, hopefully you've seen it, right? We already told you have to see it.
You bookmarked it.
You've already got it.
You've
bookmarked
lost your
it. You
crypto
can go
key.
get the crypto key. Go back out into the ocean. Pull back out where you stopped. And like I said, you're rooting for this unicorn. You're rooting for you. This
How
is the
could you
first
not?
monster horror movie where you're rooting for the unicorn, and unicorns are killing people.
Absolutely.
Running around killing people.
Rightfully so.
And it's such a cool use
Rightfully
of
so.
I mean, today's technology versus unicorn, the unicorn's still winning.
Because it's a champion.
And the only thing that could stop the unicorn was the fair maiden.
The fair maiden.
The fair maiden, Jenna Ortega, who is, like I said before, the heart and soul. The only pure person left there that doesn't have a tainted soul. Even her father, Paul Rudd, had a tainted soul. He lost sight of himself, and it's really wonderful when you have a story like this where a father and daughter are separated and separated by themselves and horrible things that have happened to them, and it takes a unicorn massacre to bring them back together and remind them of what's important, which is each other.
Yeah.
And
it's a
the
thing
hell
of beauty.
a story. I did cry a lot when they had that scene where it was, it was sacrificial and Paul Rudd running around with a horn.
You know what? This I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I once saw a real unicorn.
Did you really?
With my dad.
Yeah.
It's one of the a moment we cherish.
Really?
Yeah. We both looked out the window on the way we were driving somewhere, and we saw a horse with a legitimate horn right on its head where it would. There's no other word to describe it other than unicorn.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was mind-blowing.
Wow. When was this?
This was years ago. This was.
How old are you think?
This was before I knew you.
Yeah.
This is.
So over 14, 15 years by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we drove by. We were on the highway. We looked out. There's a bunch of grass. There was like one horse, two horse, and then a third horse that started galloping, and it had a horn. We saw the unicorn.
Hey,
They're
man,
real. They're out there, man.
Well, the tapestries, man. They're a real story. And I really love that concept of like, if what was said back then is if unicorns exist, then what they said about them back then is true. So you never know, man. There's reasons the legends exist.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord,
There's a little bit of truth in everything.
You know what dinosaurs were called before they were called dinosaurs?
What?
Dragons.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's true, yeah. Any of the fossils or anything,
There's
they just called them dragons
throughout the entire world. They were probably looking.
So how do you know?
You don't
and
know.
if there's no bones in the wings, That
It's
doesn't
easier
really make
eating.
sense. But anyway,
It's easier eating
unicorns.
if there's no bones in the wings.
It's true. It's
You get it with
very,
a fork,
very
just
true.
one bite.
It's just boom.
Boneless, baby. Boneless wings.
boneless
Buffalo wings.
Talking
3
about
for
boneless
6.
wings. I'm talking. It's all
Yeah.
connected.
It's all connected, baby.
I highly recommend it. Go see it. Death of a Unicorn. And geek it out,
Geek
man.
about that
Just
movie.
geek about that movie.
About the unis.
Well, here's the thing. How many medium rare unicorn steaks?
Oh,
Or how about we do bumps of unicorn? You should do bumps of unicorn.
yeah.
How many bumps of ground
Well,
unicorn?
he did line.
horn?
He was doing lines. So let's do how many lines?
How many lines?
How
How
many
many
lines
lines out of
10
10
of Unicoke.
of unicoke, unicorn, ground unicorn horn?
I'm gonna give it a 10.
Give it a 10.
I'm gonna give it 10 lines. I was ripping and dipping this whole evening.
I liked it. Yeah, I'd say
Had a
I'd say
good
10
time.
too.
It's
It
good
was
fun.
a good time, man. It
There
was
were
all
jokes.
in.
I laughed. I
There-
cried.
yeah.
I was
was
aghast. I
plenty
did
of
all
humor.
of the I did
Yeah.
all of the human emotions that you should have while watching a movie.
Yeah.
So 10. I'm ripping 10 lines on this film.
10 across. 10
I'm
all
doing
day.
10 lines
10
of
lines,
unicorn
unicorn.
right off the dead unicorn's horn.
We are communicating with the elders after
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
We are seeing.
We are seeing everything.
tomorrow, yesterday, everything, everywhere, all at once.
Ah.
Anyway, thank you so much. I don't know. Why am I doing that?
You really want to thank everyone.
Yeah, I'm just very thankful today.
You're a grateful human. Have you been doing
Yeah.
a lot of meditation or anything?
I've been doing a lot of lines of unicorn coke.
There it is.
All right. Well, that's all I got.